Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson. This is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
So tonight we are going to do a post review that we've waited to do for, I don't know, how long has I been wanting to do for?
What's he trying to say? He's been waiting for this one to come out.
Yes.
It's just become available. Well,
yes.
Again, we do ours a couple of weeks ahead, but
Yes.
for us, it's only just recently come out in the past couple of days.
Yes.
It is VHS 85.
Yes.
A found footage horror anthology, you know, all the good stuff. Yeah.
Right.
You want to do your usual bit here?
Right. So, this takes place in the 1980s, and and so you guys know, the 1980s would have been a different type of filming process than compared to now.
They would have used, not Super 8s, but, the old VHS sort of camcorder, tape recorder, you know what I mean.
Yeah, even though this is released in 2023 and edited and filmed and stuff like today.
It looks really grungy like an old tape.
It looks like grunginess
an old
of
VHS,
an
an old beta tape that someone found in the closet or something or other, or in the garbage tip where it belongs. No,
yeah. Mike and I, we both think this is not one of their best VHSs.
The critics think it's pretty good, but we think it's not one of the better ones. So
I was hoping.
But we're going to go through it anyway, aren't we?
I was hoping for something, really gory, very bloody, and not a happy ending to each one of the in some of the cases in in these segments. I was hoping for a jump scare, maybe not so much as a jump scare, but something that will make out they never come out alive.
Some of the story's a little bit lame. I mean, they're not lame, but just didn't have the chemistry happening to me. Yeah. Now, listen, I'm not going to go through the things I normally go through because there's been anthology, you've got different directors and stuff and different things. But I will go through the producers.
Right.
Okay.
Go for it.
The producers, a whole lot of them here. Okay. Produced by Josh Goldblum, Brad Miska, David Bruckner. David Bruckner directs a couple of these too. I think at least one of them. Okay. Chad Villella, Matt Bettinelli Olfen, Tyler Gillette, and James Harris. There you go. Now, I won't be giving you any stuff on the budget because I don't know. It was released for streaming through Shudder, so there's no ticket sales. And it's only new anyway, so you wouldn't have anything.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes.
So there's not much to talk about this one apart from the story itself, which Sarah will do in a minute.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm going to do, if Sarah lets me, and I rein her in a little bit, when we talk about a particular story, then we'll mention who wrote it and directed it. That might be an easy way to do it instead of trying to say, these guys wrote all these things. And Okay, do you want to do it that way?
Yeah, we might as well.
And I won't mention the actors too much until the end because they're in their different shows and stuff. And,
so as you guys know, the filming style to this looks just like pretty much the period it's supposed to set itself in.
Yeah.
Although
it feels good.
Although when they did get close to the end, like Dead Dream Killer, which is one of the segments, I kind of saw in the background the newer cars that I could see, in the background. I could tell because the newer cars are not as high tech as they are we have now. I mean, back then it was all old cars, all ordinary, not
American Graffiti type, but you
get the gist, guys. Anyway, so I'll dive into it, guys. So the full story you get to see in bits and chunks of it is called Total Copy. That's what it's called.
Yeah, Total Copy, frame, narrative, prologue, and whatever. And now this one's directed by David Bruckner.
Yeah. Throughout this one, it comes off in chunks, not very big ones, but it explains that they're interviewing an alien that's came to them and
somehow or other,
and they popped it in front of TV and
trying to educate it,
yes,
language, customs, and whatever.
Yeah. And little we didn't know.
Hey, they put Halloween and Friday the 13th on. Would that have actually changed him a little bit?
Maybe. Anyway, this is the thing that keeps us coming back to.
This is which, it like interludes all the way through the show. Yeah.
So we end up crossing over it. We don't know how, but we go to the first of many stories in this anthology.
Is what, No Wake, is it?
Yeah, No Wake. We're a bunch of 7 kids.
Wait a minute, can I just say who's written and directed? Like I said,
yes,
you'd agree.
Okay, agreed.
Written and directed by Mike Nelson. There you go. Carry on.
Okay, so the story begins with a bunch of 7 kids or teenagers. I don't know. It's the 80s. It's like looking at the things from the Chainsaw Massacre type one. If it was done by a camera footage instead of ordinary footage.
Yeah, and they go to a lake, don't they?
Yes, and they're told, guess what? No trespassing, no swimming, no whatever. And
no having fun.
Yes. And it says also the lake is called Lake...
Something wrong.
It looked like Lake Evil or something like that, but it actually is after clearing away some dirt from a sign that was just happened to be on the ground, I think.
Yeah, I think it's EVIC or something.
Yeah,
like that.
it was. It looked like an L at one point, but when you clear away the dirt, you see it's meant something else.
So
anyways,
whatever.
So
it was a fray off a little bit. Yeah.
So the guys have this their water ski thingy-wingy. So they go for water. 4 of them go water skiing. I think it was 4. I think, or was it 5? Yeah, I think 5 people went water skiing.
There was at least 2 on the shore.
2 were on the shore who were doing whatever.
And the 7 all up, wasn't it? Yeah.
And while they're water skiing, having fun, a car drives up to their little group, their RV. That's it, yeah, RV.
RV.
And
good movie, that.
And while these kids are having fun with on the jet
water ski,
someone begins to sniper rifle them, in the process, and killing them.
And a good shot too from the shore, yeah.
But as they drop off and get nailed by the gun, we watch them kind of wake up. Technically, that's the better word I could probably put this. And somehow they realize that I think the water
there's something in the water.
There's something in the water, like eternal life type water. Like if you watch India, you hear about the Indian document stories about the fountain of youth or fountain of eternal, mortality. This water somehow has the ability to keep you alive.
Also, they woke up. They were shot and killed by an unseen sniper on shore, and moments later they wake up.
Yeah.
Which means they're either being repaired or they're dead people walking around. We haven't quite got a grasp on that one yet.
One of the girls' jaw has been technically blown apart, and she's dripping lots of blood as she goes. The rest of the other groups, like one of the guy has his brain dripping out.
Yeah, he got shot through his head and his his head's blown out, but he's fine. Not a problem.
Well, the rest of the group, they head back to shore. They see their 2 friends who were in the tent. They were making out, I guess, and they were killed off screen.
In bed, hey?
And they realize that they also on the RV. There's the Roman numeral of 7 on their
VIIs, which is 7, and there were 7 people here. But 2 of them, the ones on shore, died, and the ones that were actually in the water,
they survived.
Even they got fatal injuries, survived.
Yeah,
Aha.
Except for the guy who was. I think there was another guy that was on the boat. I think he didn't get wet or he didn't jump into the water when everyone was water skiing.
I can't remember, but it actually says here.
Because there were like 7 guys.
Yeah, that's right. People. No, because only Rob, Drew, Robin, and Kelly regained consciousness.
Yeah.
So the other guy didn't get wet.
Yeah. Meaning he didn't step foot into the water. Not even stepping into it if his sandals were wet. Yeah. Anyway, so they then all figured out that they worked out who the license plate belongs to the car that drove up and killed them.
It.
And then they all decide to make a pledge to catch jerk.
And punish them somehow or other.
Then we cut back to the lab
Total
with
copy again.
the total
Yeah.
copy, where we find out that the lab is protecting a creature that resembles a little boy, and we figure out that this creature takes on appearances, here and there.
Yeah, a little bit like the Body Snatchers, a little bit.
Yeah, as I said before, they slapped him in front of a TV, hoping that he'll probably learn about their world, stuff like that.
Yeah.
What little do we know is that this creature is manipulating them behind the scenes, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, so the next story is, what's it called? God of Death.
Yes.
Go ahead, Mike.
Now, this is written and directed by Gigi Saul Guerrero.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You see, this one takes place in Mexico,
Yep.
and it takes place when an earthquake hits.
There's a newsroom.
In a newsroom,
Yeah,
and some rescue team tries to help a cameraman named Luis, and to get him out of there. Obviously, they end up going deeper and deeper underground.
And let's explain. She skipped over. During the earthquake, the building starts to tumble down around them, and they're trying to find the way out. And it seems like they're going further and further down, and end up into a cavern. Mm-hmm. Now, carry on.
Where they encounter something they cannot explain. For a while in this one, I kept thinking, when are we getting to the creepy part? I feel like we're just doing a news coverage of people trying to be rescued, with no success on their side. But then we find out that as they go deeper inside, underneath the ground, they encounter a creature that's sort of an ancient god or an ancient demon. I don't know what.
Yeah. It's a god called Mictlan, I think.
Yeah. Not
Mictlan. Yeah.
Anyway, these people get killed, and eventually the creature eats their hearts. I think that's the term.
Very nice.
And I guess maybe if there's anything to go on, if this is live, maybe the kid back at the lab may have seen this footage. If it's anything to go on, but I don't know.
I don't think it was live. I don't think anyone knew it was going, but he was recording it so he could actually save it and try to get awards for great, fantastic film work. Yeah,
anyway, we then cut to the end where all the people, the rescue team and the cameraman, they all get killed, except for the lady who offers up the heart and prays to this unknown
Well, we think she
god.
died too because she was in the building collapsed further.
Yeah.
So the only ones that really surviving was the girls outside doing a live broadcast about the earthquake.
Yeah. Next, so we're back to the lab again with the kid, and
2.
I think the creature starts looking like. Well, it's actually taking on different appearances, but he's not really taking on appearances. He looks like a massive blob at this point.
But he's starting to take a shape or something. And is it it vaguely resembled a human body at this point in time? Yeah, the arms and legs, the torso, that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Anyway, one of their scientist team had kind of decided to walk away, and she does a one-on-one interview, sort of like Unsolved Mysteries type of thing, where you see people just talking about how they walked away because they thought this was inhuman to be treating this human.
Yeah.
Oh, I should mention this creature is called Roland?
Rory.
Yeah. They named the creature or named the being. Anyway, so the next story, I can't really read this one.
We can't pronounce it. It says TKNOGD. Don't tell me what it's supposed to mean. Yeah. Now, this is directed by Natasha Kermani.
Yeah, this one takes place on a sort of stage where a bunch of people are. And this lady talks about how virtual reality is the
new god.
The new god.
Yeah, we have destroyed the old god by our technology,
blah,
except
blah,
yada
blah.
yada yada. And she starts.
She tries to summon this
new
digital god by doing a sort of seance on virtual reality.
Not an invocation, not a seance.
The invocation thing. And at first, nothing happens. She keeps on yelling for it to show itself, and then eventually it does. And it's sort of just like looking like Tron or Lawnmower Man.
It had a screen like Tron behind her, and you see a shape which looks a little bit like, not like Alien, but you get the idea. This creepy-looking dude, and he's this god she's summoned up from the digital world.
Yeah, despite the stories in this, guys, I like the fact that they were able to piece together as much of the 80s type of stuff as we know it, or we think we know it.
Exactly.
Anyway, so she gets killed by this ancient god, and eventually, well, not
Ancient,
god,
no,
this
digital
god, and we see it in reality that it starts tearing her in reality, obviously.
And then, when she falls down dead on the stage, and one of the people in the audience comes up and lifts the mask up, and the virtual reality mask has been fused somehow to her brain. Well, she wanted to meet her god. She found him.
She challenged him, if that's the word, which is what
Never challenge God.
And as I said before, never challenge a god or a devil, because they could easily come back and
bite you in the bum.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we go back to
Total Copy.
I won't go into details about that because it's just the same old.
Yes, but he's starting to sprout a tentacle.
Oh, I should mention that.
With spikes on the end of it.
Yes, I mean I should mention, guys, in the 80s that they always seem to go for the gory kind of monsters in this one.
He could have been a nice monster,
Well, anyway.
Typecasting.
It's an alien after all.
Sure, yes.
Anyway, the next one is called
Ambrosia.
Now, this one is
written and directed by Mike Nelson.
Now, this one is a continuation of the first story, I should
with
mention.
the RV? Yeah.
Yes. And it takes place with a girl named Ruth, and her family, are celebrating the fact that she just achieved her 7 victim count.
Well, we don't know it's a 7 victim count. It's they're talking about a special get-together and a special time in our family. It's a family tradition. Yeah. We don't know exactly what they're talking about with, coming of age.
She must be graduating from high school or college, whatever.
Or she's going to become a woman, whatever. And we don't know what it's about. And then we find out everyone in the house is a killer.
Yeah,
or
meaning
something
they I don't know, maybe every year or anniversary
or every generation
every generation must kill 7 people.
And
they have a tattoo of a Roman numeral of the 7 on it.
On their wrist.
Yeah, so it has to be 7 people. Anyway, she, unlike her family members who took photos of the evidence of their killings in the past, she actually filmed it, on a VHS tape, and she shows it to them, and
everyone's going, this is great, and look what happens.
The
police showed up.
The police arrive.
Now, we've got a funny feeling that the people who survived the RV attack set this all up.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
Yeah, they probably sent
timing.
They probably sent an anonymous message to them saying, police, there are some people in this area who are murderers.
Yeah, well, a couple of people are dead up the lake.
And we're witnesses.
Yeah.
So, anyway, they go there, and then we do a sort of siege where everyone pulls out rifles.
Yeah, even the fat old grandma and different things. Out comes an automatic
it's
rifle
an
and stuff.
automatic shootout, if that's the better word for it.
And they say, and the mother says to the daughter, don't let them take your life. It's best to kill yourself, blah, 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 blah. Now, this is the funny bit. Now, we'll just go back to the beginning of this show.
Yes.
When she's outside the house, a little boy walks up with a water pistol and squirts her. It could be a nephew or something. Where'd you get that from? Oh, the lady in the RV gave it to me.
What does that tell you?
Okay.
And the RV is probably the same one that we saw earlier.
With the lake. And we see it driving away. Because that's relevant to the end of the skit.
Anyway, as the siege goes on, people get killed, and all of a sudden they're outnumbered, and the police eventually come in, and eventually she tries to shoot herself in the head, but no dice.
No, she survives. Then the police shoot her.
Yeah,
and she survives.
Yeah, and somehow they dragged her away, and of course, she's confused, and no doubt she'll probably be interrogated, and the scientists will get involved, and soon enough she will be dragged away as a science experiment.
But then we get a bit of a cutaway to before, when these people who she killed or tried to kill before were filling up the water pistol with the water from the lake, which makes her immortal just like them. So no matter what they do to her, they could cut her arms and legs and head off, and she'll still be alive.
Yeah, I imagine by the time they're through with her, she'll be just a head. get the joke.
She won't get ahead much.
But you know what I mean, guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
interesting.
the fact that she is going to be condemned to a life of
misery. Or incarceration and misery.
Yeah, or life imprisonment.
Or in a scientific laboratory. Why aren't you dying?
Yeah. And no doubt these kids got their revenge.
Okay, here we go. Back to total copy again.
Yes. And, of course, they start realizing that this creature probably can see them through the one-way mirror thingy.
Yeah, we think so.
Yes, and they start
because he's starting to take on the appearance of one of the scientist guys who's never actually been in the room.
Ooh, meaning he could probably see through the glass, or maybe just maybe they can actually it can look into their minds and see the other people in the room with them. That's an interesting twist.
Exactly.
Anyway, a final segment in this one is called Dream Killer.
Directed by Scott Derrickson.
Where in this one, it deals with some unexplained videos that are being filmed and then presented to the police, and they're mostly of the kills of a person.
They're videos of people or crimes being committed where people die, but they're being recorded before it happens and given to the policeman.
So, anyway, so they actually track down, or they see on street cam footage. I'm not sure if they had it back then. I'm not sure.
Well, I didn't think they had street cam or security cameras back in '85, but they may have. Yeah.
Anyway, they find the boys who is sending the videos to the police station, and then they take him in for questioning and ask him about how this is all. Where did he get the videos and who and all that stuff? Whether he had an accomplice or something like that. But it turns out this boy has an ability. Go on, explain, Mike.
Now here we go. His dad bought him a video player recorder. Okay.
Yes.
And what's happened is somehow or other, over a period of time, this kid, when he goes to sleep and has a dream, like precognition, whatever, the machine's recording it. So he's dreaming about something that's going to happen, and it gets recorded onto a tape.
Yes.
And when he turns the tape on, have a look at it, he said, "Oh, that's going to happen." So he's being the good little fellow and sending it to the policeman.
Yeah, trying to find to get them to solve it before it happens again. Of course, they still think that he's possibly the one doing the evil deeds, but it's not. It turns out to be the policeman who's filming the is sort of a partner in the police station, but is actually filming the thing with as he goes along, and eventually the other detective confronts him about it and says that, what did he say exactly? The detective confronts him about it and says that if he turns himself in, I'm sure that they'll probably give him a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Which they often do sometimes. But eventually, the guy pulls out a gun and shoots him in the head. Bang, bang.
Now, actually, I'm going to go back here. When this young boy was being interviewed by the policeman, his father was in the room too. His father was also a policeman. I didn't pick up on it the first up. So this boy who's having the dreams was the son of a policeman, and his name was Bobby, and Bobby was the guy in the car talking to the other policeman who shot him, because he was the actual one. We believe who was doing the killings, and his son was dreaming about it.
Yeah. See, I should mention, guys, that during an interview with the detective and his dad explained that his son and his sister and his sort of a cousin all inherited a special gift,
psychic ability,
where they see the future and stuff like that. And it's a terrible, scary gift of sorts. And it kind of makes them go crazy or something, or it could easily manipulate them to commit the crimes if it ever happened. Yeah. Anyway, so. He commits the crime and he heads back to the police station, making an attempt to try to kill his son and probably any of the officers who are aware of what's happening.
And then it shit hits the fan, right?
Yes. Also, at this point, he's actually just went to sleep. He was just sleeping in the interrogation room.
Oh, yes, right.
And he actually looks at the camcorder that's been recording their session, the interrogation, and he's actually, I think he's seen the footage that's of not only what's going to happen next.
What's going to happen to him and his father.
Yeah, anyway, soon enough, a shootout happens in the police station, and eventually everyone starts shooting at everyone, and eventually you think he's about to get away, but eventually his son kind of shoots him, bang, bang, he's dead.
Yeah, wham, bam, thing. He shot Daddy with a spare gun laying around because all his policemen were dead. Yeah.
Then we go back to
Total Copy.
And there we find out that the creature is not doing so well, so they think that it needs an injection of sorts.
Yeah, I'm going to put some adrenaline or something into it.
One scientist doesn't like the idea because they don't know what kind of side effect it would do to this creature.
Exactly.
Because it's not human. And you know what they say about some people.
But anyway.
So they send in the guy who has not been seen inside there with the creature. And as he's approaching, he's wearing that special... those special outfits, for if you
call it? They keep the place sterile. So that's not like a jumpsuit and a helmet and stuff. Yeah.
Anyway, he approaches the creature, but then its tentacle pops out and it wraps itself around him, his arm, where he has the syringe needle in his hand. And anyway, the scientists start panicking, and quickly they try to open the door and try to pull him out, but the tentacles start sprouting from this monster.
Yeah, more than one tentacle.
And it's soon enough, it kind of starts tearing bits of him off, and he gets pulled back into the room. And as they're trying to escape, the woman is next, and she's dragged away. And as the remaining scientist and the cameraman, I should mention, there's the cameraman in this, obviously, and they're trying to open the door, but unfortunately we don't know what's happening to the it's got a special security thing where security.
Yeah, and his hands all bloody and everything as well, and it's not reading his palm.
Yeah,
right?
someone online said maybe the creature is manipulating the technology in the building.
See, what happens is those scanners read your palm, all the wrinkles and the lines and everything.
Guess if
it's covered in blood, it can't read it.
Guess if you had a gash or a cut on your hand,
it's changed
it would.
But you get blood all over it.
Yeah,
you can't read it. Now, but the thing is, wait a minute. As we said before, Rory, this alien creature, has been sitting in front of
TV
videos for the past couple of weeks, month, whatever, trying to, and they're showing him ordinary programs, news programs, and also an exercise program, which comes to
both the last doctor and the cameraman, they get killed, and the camera guy gets pulled away, and I don't think he's completely alive in the scene, but we then witness the two other people that were dragged away, the lady and the other doctor. They're doing the exercise, and the creature's manipulating them, obviously. Exactly. Then we cut out and fade to black or whatever. But so that's VHS 85.
Now, having said all that, I'm going to say anthologies, either going to like them or not like them. Okay,
that's true.
It's supposed to be grungy. Okay, it was grungy. Now, whether they used a real camera and made it grungy in post, I don't know, but it looked pretty good. They had the VHS feel to it, you'd say, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I wish they could have used the last segment as its major big segment, where it deals with the kid who says that he's been having these dreams, and they start appearing in video form.
That might have been better.
That would have been a better approach.
Exactly.
And that would have been my better way of doing this sort of thing.
I don't think they nailed it insofar as the way they structured it. Even though the critics like it, don't get me wrong, the reviews are good and whatever, but I think it would have been better, like Sarah said, if this last story, if it's a kid dreaming and things appearing on tape. I reckon they could have nailed it better if they used that as a theme for this one.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
But they probably went through different ideas, and in the end they decided to go with a an alien sitting in front of the TV. And again, as I said before,
TV,
it would be nice. It would have been nice if the actual footage he was actually watching was these incidents. But for what purpose would it serve in this movie? It makes me think this movie, this anthology series. Movie makes me think of Totally Full Frontal, where you jump back and forth between different segments throughout and with no connection whatsoever.
Yes, and that was the thing to me. There was no underlying connection theme. Having these interludes didn't actually connect any of the stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw one there. I know which one it was. Some police came into a room and they found some tapes, and they started watching the tapes or something rather.
Yeah, and
they still had that core theme coming back to the police watching these tapes.
Yeah, and there's the first of the VHS related movies, where a bunch of guys were sneaking into someone's apartment where they were planning on stealing some very naughty videos.
And they stole these. Yeah.
Well, they didn't steal them. They were looking through them, and then each one, of course, we see it from the viewer's point of view, obviously, from the person's point of view.
Anyway. Had that thread going through it. Anyway,
of course, this one didn't have that thread. It's the same with the not this one, but the other one that came before it, where that one didn't have it didn't really have that particular continuation. Its own sort of thing that came popping in and out was actually just stop motion video footage here and there, which didn't add to the production very much. Except for the one that came before that one, it kind of did a good job where it talked about these policemen arriving at this place and these people were forced to watch these videos, right?
Yeah, somewhat.
Anyway, so take it away, Mike.
Take what where? No,
let's discuss reception.
Well,
if we
I'll
can.
do my little bits now. Okay. Yeah. Now this is actually, like I said, you'll listen to this a couple of weeks after we do it, but this was. Released a few days ago before our podcast on October the 6th. So we've got in the first week. It's probably the first week of November now for you guys. Anyway, Rotten Tomatoes give it 69. Doesn't say anything else. Jacob Hall from Slash Film stated that this is the first film in the series where it feels like every director is actively shooting for the moon. Rating it 7 out of 10. If they're actively shooting for the moon, it would have been more than 7 out of 10.
More like shooting themselves in the foot.
Could have been 8 or 9 out of 10. But anyway, Mary Andrews of Dread Central wrote that VHS 85 is perhaps the series' most consistent entry. I can't see it. But maybe she hasn't seen the other ones. Praising the focus on cosmetic horror and the shifting cultural consciousness of the 80s, rating it 4 out of 5. She obviously liked it. Emily Von Steele of Daily Dread deemed the film an exceptionally strong entry in the franchise, highlighting the consistent quality between the segments and no obvious weak link. I didn't see any link at all. Anyway,
there's no...
She gave it 5 out of 5. In a positive review from the Daily Texan, Ryan Rank commented that VHS 85 stands out as one of the best in a long-running franchise, pointing out the very satisfying payoff of the main wraparound story and the rating of the film. Now, it's so damn good, why do you give it 3.5 out of 5 stars?
I don't know.
That sounds just over average in his rating, so yeah.
They talk big, but they don't really give it rating
the
high.
The numbers sometimes. Cat Hughes from Hollywood Reporter praised the film as one of the best in the franchise, specifying Nelson's segment as by far the bloodiest, messiest, and goriest of all the stories shown, and rating the film 4 out of 5.
Refresh my memory, Mike. Which one is his one again?
Okay.
Yeah, refresh my memory would be good.
Give me a second. Nelson, he did No Wake.
No Wake and the Ambrosia one. I don't know if it's
Ambrosia. I'm having a look. Talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, and he did Ambrosia as a follow-on through. So that worked quite nicely. I did like the storyline. But honestly, I don't think it's as good as the critics make out. However, it does fit in with the theme of VHS. Okay, the filming's good. Jeez, it made it feel like it's a grungy, horrible tape. They've nailed it insofar as that goes, but they haven't.
It's not there.
Haven't got my juices flowing on this one.
Yeah,
no.
It's not there. It does have references to a lot of other related 80s, real 80s movies and stuff like here and there. Not found footage stuff. Just it does have that interesting period look, especially the how they were able to put together the costume quality.
Some of the clothing,
the special effects
those
quality.
Crop tops the guys were wearing back in those days.
Gosh.
Who the hell be caught dead wearing a man's crop top? Yeah.
It's no wonder the style gets out of style.
I mean, it might be nice and cool, but they look really pussy, you know.
And the same I could say when they wear very short shorts.
Oh yeah, little tidy, little tight shorts. Like you're just about painted on, you know. That's so bad.
Anything close to their crotch would make me sick.
Well, yeah. You can see every pube and everything else. Anyway, now where do you get it? No,
that's a good question.
We haven't rated it. No, we haven't rated it.
Yes.
Look, it's consistent with the other VHS movies. However, I don't think the stories are as strong. Okay, I'm going to give it about 7.5 to 8. Yeah,
I'm gonna
7.5 maybe. Yeah, because to me it didn't get my interest up.
Yeah, I'm gonna rate it 8 out of 10 myself.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I was hoping this will have a lot more gore, a lot more surprises, and all that sort of stuff. It just really
it lacked that spark.
Yeah, the whole point I watched
to get the juices going. You know what I mean, guys. Yeah.
The whole point of watching these, to me, I like it that there's a continuation, and someone is actually who knows who's watching it is even interestinger, because like the ones we've looked at so far, that in the past where someone out there is watching it and we don't know who that individual is.
The robot chicken watching it for all I know, you know.
Yeah, well, it seems like that's pretty much accurate, like you say, Mike. I mean, considering the fact that they seem to have did the robot chicken with full frontal look instead of there's someone in the room watching it and he is getting totally gored out by the whole creepiness about it. It would have been great if there was some weird person collecting these tapes and is starting, and I don't know. I would have loved it. I would have liked something like that, to be honest, guys, because this one was lost on me when they kept on buzzing back between this movie. I mean, that segment to
and the ongoing story. The total copy. Anyway, let's just move on to close. Let's close down a little bit. If you want to watch it, by all means, you can get it through Shudder streaming. Okay,
you can do that.
eBay, I noticed, you can download from Pakistan, and it says no DVD, so it's a direct digital copy you can buy. I don't know if it's a pirate or whatever. They said, $6. And you go, wait a minute. I don't know what quality it is.
Yeah.
So I personally, I would stay away from it. Amazon has Rent, and it says Rent through Shudder. So they obviously got a link for Shudder. So at the moment, as we're speaking, which is the 12th of October, I haven't found any other things, sites, I don't look too far, streaming it. But it may be a bit more accessible by the time you hear the podcast.
Yeah, guys. So you know where to find it, and and as you guys may or may not know, we kind of were waiting for this one for quite a while.
I was hoping to get my juices going,
and I was hoping
really
to get something that I never seen before. You know, but it seems to use a lot of the 80s old movies reference material here and there.
Yeah,
like the whole I mean, I didn't mind the Tron virtual computer stuff back then.
That looked good, actually.
That looked pretty good.
Yeah, I was
And-
wondering how that was going to
yeah.
develop, and it developed pretty good. Yeah.
Costumes, of course, looked the right type of period, especially not the over the top costumes like you think you've seen in movies and TV shows. Like you see them wearing something fancy, and you think, "Oh, how wonderful! I would like to get an outfit like that." When actually, in reality, like Mike and I've said in the past, no way people would wear that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
we've got dead and some of the crap I've seen in those movies, man.
Anyway, it was not too bad, most of the stuff, but again, as I said before, I did think it captured stuff like the effects of the video footage from back then. I think that's probably one of the things that the reviewers liked, but they didn't put it into words, not in these reviews
Anyway.
when I think about it. But unfortunately, as Mike says, this one did lack continuation and
Continuity, yeah.
and
It just looked like, let's bang a few things together,
mean-
and there's no link. You know,
I mean,
yeah.
aside from both those two other movies that was emerged and tried to do a continuation of the story, you know, like you have the opening and in the middle, and then much later on we get the end, right? Which is not the point to this, because you're not supposed to continue the story. You have to leave a twist to make sure people are kept
Well, like that one, the
interested.
policeman didn't the policeman disappear or something? Police person disappeared at the end of it? Yeah. Things like that. Yeah, just little things, but nothing. Yeah, there's nothing to link it, no underlying start. Something to bring it all together.
Yeah. I'm used to, I would have loved it if those people, the dead people in the first one, I would have loved it if they were a lot more, aside from the girl who had her lip broken off.
Well, yeah, but a jaw, she got a bullet for her jaw shattered and everything.
And
not a good look.
it would have been great if that the remaining members of the group had a little bit of not just shattered bones, but like their face
hole
peeled.
in the back of his head.
Like,
What more do you want?
I don't know. I would like something a little bit more like, I cannot go out in public anymore. I can't play the piano anymore. Can't ever do anything again anymore. Or even step outside of my comfort space
I
anymore.
can't go outside in the light and I'll get all burned up.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I did like the whole the eternal immortality water thingy. That sounds good, but I would have loved it if there was more something solid keeping it, interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there was a bit of a weird noise in the background that made me think that maybe some supernatural occurrences happening in the lake.
Well, probably not.
Anyway, so that's VHS 85, obviously.
Exactly.
So you guys know where to find it. It's on Shudder, waiting for you guys to check out and to watch for yourselves. I don't know how long it's going to be on there for. It may
Maybe there for a while.
Maybe for a while.
A lot of people, the reviewers liked it, and then the people who like anthologies may like it a bit better than I do. But yeah, I think it's lacking a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. As I said, as Mike and I have both agreed, it lacks the threads to link the story together.
And like I said, there's nothing. None of it got my juices flowing.
Yeah. It's just like the last one with the army stop motion thing that was kind of trying to piece together the bits here, even though that didn't really play a very big part in that sort of thing.
Anyway,
so
we're going over the same ground.
So you know where to get it, and so that's about it from us, guys. So you know where to find us as usual. Be sure to comment on this video and like and subscribe.
You might like it better than us.
Usual. Yeah. So I'll let you guys go for now. So this is Sarah Stephenson
and Marl
saying see you guys around on Boys and Ghouls Film Review. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.